here I have an old Clinton engine. And it's mostly complete. I think there's a piece in this bag here for the air cleaner. Well, not the whole thing. But yeah, I got that piece. But I'll give you the backstory. I actually already did the unboxing and the quick little backstory to it. But I actually just lost that footage on the weekend. A little bit of a boating trip, and phone didn't go in the water, but phone in damp pocket equals your phone dies. And that's really unfortunate because I had the beginning of this video and I actually had like 3/4 of another video. So I purchased this off of eBay, and I was trying to get 2 engines kind of for the price of one. Or what I did was I bought this one and then I made an offer on another one, but really cheap, hoping that he would take it and then combine shipping and let me have the 2. But he didn't want to do that, so I only got the 1 engine, which that's okay. I like old antique engines, I like Wisconsin's, I like Clinton's, so this is right up my alley. Now, it was sold as non-running, no idea what was wrong with it, but it, as is, where is kind of thing. So it's got compression. As long as it's got something, we'll, oh. Okay, I guess it's got nothing. Okay, so we'll get some oil in it. So I've added some of my best quality used oil to it, and it's got a bit on the dipstick now, so be good enough just to get her to fire off a few times. So just looking things over, putting the plug wire on, and it's almost a bit too short, but it actually looks like it's fairly new, or at least the end is new, but the wire itself looks pretty newish, so maybe not. Well, yeah, maybe they just cleaned it up and put the new end on, but for a second I was hopeful that it had a new coil. But no, they probably just put a new end on it, and that's why it's a little bit short. Okay, this is going to be the first start attempt of this little engine, so go ahead and place your bets now. I'm going to say we get nothing, because I doubt we're going to get it to fire this easily. Oh, that choke won't stay closed either. Let's just see what happens. Oh, it made a little puff, I think, but here, probably should have clamped it down or something. Okay, let's give that another shot. I got her clamped down with my 2 best clamps. Oh, it fired there. Okay. Need a bit of choke, or maybe it was flooded. Oh. Yeah, we're getting something though. I think I'm gonna try and get this apart and just see if we. I'm gonna take the top off this guy. Oh, okay. Well, that looks to be in pretty good condition. Not all caved in or nothing. Not too bad in there. A little bit of old gas, it looks like. Kind of varnishy. Okay, and I'm just giving everything a preliminary clean by shooting it with a bit of brake clean. And that actually has worked really well right off the bat. Let's get that guy. And one other thing we can do tonight before we go is a quick spark check. So I pulled the plug and, you know, it looks fairly new. So they'd probably put it in and tried to get it running, and for whatever reason they didn't have much success. But the plug looks okay. Okay, we'll see if I have some luck trying to film that. Let's see if we got any spark. Oh, wow. That thing's got great spark. Okay. Who knows, maybe it's got a new coil or new points condenser. Whole 9 yards maybe, who knows. So someone's tried to get this thing going, and something has stopped them just short of that, because from what I'm seeing so far, there isn't much that would stop this engine from running. So, anyways, we'll let that stuff soak, and we'll carry on with part 2 tomorrow. Oh, and one other thing, I already looked, but inside of the tank, it looks pretty good. Not that you can see anything. So, that carburetor is all back together. We got a funnel with a filter. We'll pour some kind of gasoline into it. Not sure how new or old this stuff is, but should be good enough to get an antique engine going. Okay. Oh, I see gasoline. Couple little floaters in there. We'll give it a minute and see if there's any leaks. Yeah, I wanted to just show just how good the spark is on this thing. If I bring the flywheel to just before top dead center and then just quickly, you know, just quickly flick it with my wrist, this thing fires. If I can get it to focus. Anyway, I thought that was pretty impressive. That's pretty good spark. Okay, no leaks, so let's give it a shot. All right, I'm just gonna try and hold the choke closed. Let's see what happens. Oh, I should probably take this funnel out of the tank first. Maybe put the cap on. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of throttle. Okay, there we go. That's something. Huh. Maybe it just doesn't have very good compression because it's spinning over really easily. So I can't find my compression tester, so I went ahead and just rigged up this pressure gauge, made a little adapter and scrounged up some hose clamps. Don't even have those, you know, can't even go to the store and buy them right now. It's only getting about 60 or so psi. There, it's starting to drop already. So this engine has some other problem then, because, you know, 50, 60 psi is probably not enough to make it run. So I think this engine needs a little more investigative work before it's going to fire. Alright, so I got the thing torn apart, and cylinder bore looks pretty decent. You know, some light scoring, but nothing alarming that should make it not run. No big gouges or anything. And the valves seem okay. Seems as though they are working. And I can see there's a tiny bit of clearance on them. So it's not like they're, you know, being held open by the cam or something. So now the only odd thing is the head wasn't really torqued down. It was actually pretty loose. So maybe that was the problem. I don't know. I really doubt it. I would think it would still develop more compression than that. But I'm just going to go ahead and clean all this up and put it back together and see what happens. Okay, so I've done a bit of investigating. I've done a little bit of homework. But what I'm seeing now, so compression is actually fine on this little engine. Spec is 65, and that's right around what we've got. So compression shouldn't be an issue. What I have noticed is, so I'm at a bit of an advantage because I think I demonstrated earlier that I can get it to spark just by doing that. You can hear it, but I highly doubt you're going to be able to see it right now. It's probably too bright, but you can hear it. But what I'm noticing is, see, it should be firing right about there, I would think. Just a little bit before top dead center. But it's actually firing right about there. Just a hair before that. But right about there, which is after top dead center, which to me that doesn't seem right. Because if I just quickly bring the piston all the way up, it ain't going to fire. But if I go a little more, then it fires. So maybe we have a timing issue. That's the only thing left that I could possibly think is wrong with this guy. And maybe just the fact that it has such good spark and a new lead and stuff. Maybe someone was in there messing with it and maybe it's not right. So I guess I'm going to have to dig into this guy a little bit further. Okay, so it came apart really easily. And I'm not sure if anyone's been in here. I mean, it all looks like pretty old, original-ish stuff. Although those are new connectors, aren't they? So there goes that theory. That's a pretty vintage-looking condenser. And the coil as well. But it's all still working really good, so... The only thing I noticed that seems a little funny would be that keyway. It's either damaged or it's an offset keyway. So it could just be off enough that it's firing too late. Or maybe it's offset backwards. That's a thought. And it also looks like maybe possibly there's some damage to this. That looks a little wider and kind of at a bit of a funny angle on the one side. So, yeah, you can kind of tell. But, yeah, so, like, maybe that was damaged and they were trying to offset it to correct it, and maybe they just corrected the wrong direction. So I think I'm just going to pop that back on with the keyway reversed, and we'll try that and see what happens. Okay, so I switched that keyway around, and it did seem to allow it to fire closer to top dead center. Not quite before, but I think kind of right at. So it might make a difference. Let's just, you know, give it a little test fire here. Oh, it's firing. Whoops. Oh, no, it's clockwise. Whew. Lost my mind for a second. Did I just pull it the wrong way? Not sure what I just did. So now I'm nervous. I want to use a glove. That's the left. There's the right. Off all the gas in the fuel bowl. Perfect. So I guess it was just a timing issue. Let me throw this thing back together and we'll give it a better test run. Oh, we're back to nothing. Okay, so I'm going to try once more just before I tear into it, because I have a feeling that it's about to fire. There we go. So I think it just didn't have fuel yet. So it might still have a timing issue. Timing or fuel. I'm thinking timing at this point. From the evidence that's being presented. Let's just try again. Yeah, it kind of starts puffing and then it fires. Fuel, carb, or timing? Okay, maybe it was running a little rich there. It's running though. Not too bad for 1952 at the newest. As soon as I give it throttle, it wants to die. Oh, we're getting there. Nice, we get to run good. More than just idle. Well, that completely closed the idle needle. So it's definitely getting too much fuel somewhere. Maybe there's, I don't know, something not right with the carburetor. Or timing. It's still an option. Well, it could. Oh. Well, it's definitely getting too much fuel. It's dripping right out of the carburetor, right out of the throat. Well, that's unfortunate, but it's running. That's awesome. So, all right. I guess, so it could be this guy. All right, so we might be back in business. Only thing I can think of that would cause such a flooding issue is there's like a packing in here, or there should be. And when you tighten that nut down, it, you know, should squeeze it down tight and seal it on the shaft. And I didn't have that, and most of it kind of fell out and was disintegrated when I took the carb apart. And so I put this in there that I thought would work, but maybe that was just too thick, and it was just not allowing that needle to seat all the way. That's the only thing I can think of. So I've removed that. I've got that set at 1.5, this set at 1. It turns out each, just because it did seem like it was running pretty rich. So we'll try that combination of stuff, and we'll see what happens. Okay. I have another old Clinton engine, a B700, I think. I put on an old generator, and it always started up pretty good too. Like it could sit for a year, and you know, you put gas in it, and 3 pulls it would fire. This thing seems to be starting up pretty good too, so I think they're good little engines, but let's see what happens now. There we go. It doesn't want to idle too low. That's okay, that's running really good. $1952 at the newest, mind you. ID plate's missing. I think this is a 700A, I think, or a 722A or something like that. I'm giving that a thumbs up. Alrighty, boys and girls, well there you go. Thanks for watching along with me as I revive this old Clinton engine. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with it. So it might still have an issue with the flywheel key or something, but I think I got it solved for the most part. If I want, I can address that at a later time. But for now, it's a good, solid base for, you know, another project someday. I have an idea of what I might like to try and do with this, but it's nothing I'm going to dive into now. I just wanted to get this thing going. Well, there we go. It is going. It's got this nice gear reduction unit on it, so, you know, maybe that can be used for something at some point. I don't know if I'll leave it or take it off, but I like that the old fuel bowl is still here and the original line, and it's too bad the air cleaner's gone. But I do have the adapter, which I think on this model pointed down, so I'll have to find something or make something up. That's not such a big deal, but everything else is there, minus the ID tag, which would be right here. But from what I can tell, it's, I think I said a 700A. So, yeah, if anyone wants to chime in with some more information on what this little Clinton may or may not be, by all means. But I think that wraps it up for this video, and I'm really happy with the results. It took a little bit of brain scratching to figure out what was going on, but it was kind of a really just a very odd issue with that keyway, and then it fired right up. So whatever, it's working, I'm happy. So I have a few more old engines I need to get working on, and hey, in the middle of, you know, pandemic, COVID, all that stuff, we're still in lockdown. What else is there to do, right guys? But thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. Well, and until next time, I will see you then.